Awesome. So today I am joined by Rupesh, and Rupesh is one of my stellar students who is now, over the past 3.5 months, over 15 kilos lighter and 5 inches slimmer around the waist. So thank you, Rupesh, for hopping on.
Thank you for having me, Nicole.
Yeah, and tell us just a bit about yourself so that the audience understand more about you.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Rupesh. I'm 28 years old. I work at at an energy commodities trading firm called Dare. I run a trading desk there, and I have been running a trading desk for most of my career. Actually, I've been trading for the last 10 years. In that time, uh, my health has gotten kind of worse and worse in terms of fitness. And weight. So it was, I think, around December when we first started reaching out to one another. I then had a wonderful holiday, and then came back. To be honest, obviously heavier from the holiday and also heavier from the lifestyle. Kind of ready to make a bit of a change to my life.
Yeah, and then what would you say that the biggest problems you were dealing with before we started working together?
Yeah, sure. A big one was obviously was energy. So mostly my day starts if when I'm going to the gym and when I'm training, my day will start 4:30. Otherwise, 5:15 in the morning, and I'll get out of bed. I had a very poor kind of sleep schedule, and I wasn't really planning that. Even I live on top of the hill, so walking down the hill, I've got a lot of pain in my knees. So by the time I get to the station, which is only a 10-minute walk away, I had a lot of pain and stuff like that. Just from from walking and just being generally overweight. And then by the end of the day, I was absolutely knackered because of the lack of energy, to be honest. So yeah, that was probably the biggest problem in terms of my day to day, was just a complete lack of energy. Also, I wasn't a big fan of how I was looking. As you know, Nicole, I had really packed on the pounds, and I was 99 kilos when I started working with you. So yeah, there was there was really a lot of weight to lose at that point in time. In terms of the actual problems training and stuff like that. So I had come from a background where I had been very fit growing up, and I played a lot of sports at school, and I was really into the gym and was training a lot until my time at uni, and really it was after uni and when I started working, when I'd stopped going to the gym so much, but my dietary habits had stayed the same. So really, I was just trying to out train a very bad diet, and I had been doing so for about 10 years. So yeah, I'm quite pleased to have kind of changed that now, and I finally been defeated by trying to out train a bad diet, because it just doesn't work.
Yeah, and then what had you tried to help shift the weight in the past?
Yeah, a lot of hit training. I tried a lot of that. I found it, I don't know whether we'll get onto it in this call or not, but I just tried a lot of. To be honest, I hadn't really tried to shift the weight properly, because I'd gone through periods of, I don't want to lose any muscle mass, and then I need to lose a bit of weight, but then a little bit of weight would fall off, and then I would just, after a little bit of success, I would just put the weight back on. I didn't have a good diet there, or whatever. So I tried little bits and pieces from my own training knowledge or from my own dietary knowledge, but I didn't really put it together in a kind of formulaic way. And I was skipping around a lot between training programs. I think that was probably the worst thing. And I
Mm.
didn't have a dietary program at all. It would be like 3 days of trying to make something work, and then 2 days of eating 3 portions of biryani and going out for dinner and stuff like that with brokers, or going for meetings and stuff like that, and eating loads of food. So it just wasn't working, basically. Whatever it is I was doing was not working.
Yeah, and then remind me, isn't it's a vegetarian diet, minimal eggs as well, then?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
So, I mean, I've been vegetarian all my life, and that wasn't something I was willing to change. So, I think, I'm sure we'll get onto it through this conversation, but I think that was probably the first thing that you pointed out about the diet. That when I was monitoring the diet, it was all very carbohydrate heavy. So, a lot of roti and potato curry and stuff like that, which
yeah.
is really poor as a dietary choice. Really lacking in protein daily. So I would try. This was another thing I was working out for long periods of time beforehand, where it would be like 2 weeks of very good workouts, and I meant it by that because I came from a training background, so the workout themselves would be very good, but I would get a lot of DOMs, and then the muscle fatigue would occur. So as a result of that, I would stop the training because I would lack the motivation to carry on. And I think that part of that was because I wasn't fueling the workouts very well.
Yeah, yeah. With adequate protein, carbohydrates as well, especially
Yeah.
getting the protein. And why do you think this coaching worked so well for you so far?
Um, I think partly is a personality thing and a personal thing, to be honest. Um, it was very helpful to have your accountability. I think it really struck a chord with me the first time that we spoke, where you said, "You know, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to be your coach, and I'm here to kind of get you results." I think that was a very good line, firstly, and secondly, something that's been quite true whilst working with you, where you've kind of kicked my ass where you need to, and then also at the same time, given me a lot of encouragement when I've needed it as well, which has been very, very helpful. Having that level of accountability has been incredibly helpful. Um, Actually, just the awareness of what I was doing wrong, and that where someone like yourself, where you've been an executive and then change your own life around and change your own well-being around. I think that gives a lot of motivation to someone. Like, you can go to the gym and you see a lot of personal trainers that are really out of shape. Like, why would you want to get trained by this person, or why would you want to get nutrition advice from this kind of person when you can't see it for yourself? So for me, that even just that level, that psychological level of motivation, and then I had a desire to do it. This kind of program would be impossible for somebody to do if they like. You should not sign up for this program if you don't want to make a change. Like, just don't do it, because it's a waste of your time. It's a waste of that person's time. But if you do want to make a change, it's like one of the best things that you can do.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's what you've done. And so tell us a bit more about your results, both tangible as well as intangible then so far.
All right, great. So I mean, this is going to sound like a bit of a brag. So it's taken since March the 9th. So today is the 25th of June. So it's almost coming up to 4 months. Um, it's I've lost 15 kilos in weight, going from 99 kilos to just under 84 kilos as of today. I've lost 5 inches around my waist. My arm size has increased by an inch as well. So I feel like I've put on muscle. I've retained the strength. I'm lifting heavier weights now than I was at the start of the program. I'm a lot fitter as well. I played cricket for the first time on Sunday. I could actually fit into my cricket gear for the first time in about 10 years. Played cricket for the first time on Sunday, which felt incredible. My fitness levels are fantastic. My energy levels are really good. To the extent that alongside my own work, I've also been setting up I've been working on some other side projects and stuff like that for myself and for my family, which I don't think I would have had the energy to do without losing a bit of weight and feeling better. I guess the intangible stuff is the confidence. I feel a lot more confident in myself. I feel like I'm kind of back to my old self, which is something no money can really buy. To be honest with you, it's become truer and truer the better my career has gone on, which is that your real wealth is in your health, and I think getting that back has been a real blessing, to be honest. So on that note, I can only thank you, and also thank you for all the support and for the accountability, because that's been quite life changing actually.
Yeah. And then you mentioned right at the beginning of the call, as in before we hit record, as in your clothes, as in your clothes from 10 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. So that's it's been quite funny. I've just been actually pulling out old stuff from my wardrobe that I was actually going to give to charity or just get rid of or whatever. And some shirts and stuff like that that I really like, put them on, and for the first time in years, they're actually fitting me. So yeah, it's like I've got a whole new wardrobe actually, but it's all just my old stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. And then what would you say you're most proud of yourself so far?
Um, yeah, it's a very good question. I mean, I'm somebody as a person who prides themselves on their discipline and who prides themselves on kind of putting yourself outside your comfort zone. I guess for a long time I felt actually like a bit of a fraud because I was in such bad nick actually, and whilst actually I could take people to the gym and go to the gym and out train them and be really good there, the lack of discipline really came from the kitchen, and really came from the dietary habits, and just not having a plan in place. So I'm very proud to have followed something through. And we're not even done with the program. I've still got a little bit of weight to lose. I've still got a target in mind, as you're aware. I really want to get down to the 80-kilo mark, but yeah, I'm just very, very proud to have kind of lived up to the values and to the ideals that I am as a brand, and that I am as a person.
Yeah. And one of the things is around nutrition, right? As in that was the biggest thing, right? And the many vegetarian, as the clients are vegetarian, find many people are listening and probably
Yeah.
maybe vegetarian as well. As in like, what is it that you would say to the vegetarian listeners out there? Be like, listen, this is possible. Like, what tips would you give?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you were very helpful with a lot of the recipes, right? So I will go back to that in a sec. But there is a lot of very good options out there. I think you just need to go and find them and explore them. I think that's where you came in very handy, because I buy a lot of my lunches. I don't make a lot of my lunches simply because I don't have time. But actually, you helped me to find a lot of good options on delivery, which were close by to me, where the protein content was very high. Actually, probably now more than ever, there's more good vegetarian protein sources and options than you could find anywhere else, or at any time previously. So I think in terms of purchasing stuff, there's not a problem. In terms of eating out, in terms of cooking at home, there's also more options, right? Like there's corn and lots of different other kinds of meat substitutes, which in a limited capacity are okay. And then also, slightly more natural stuff, the soya, etc., like that, which is slightly less refined, still very high in protein, etc. I think that was the big thing, just meal prepping and cooking from scratch. My wife made a comment as well when we first started working together, when I was batch cooking, and she said, "Oh wow, you're taking this very seriously." And I think it was, from firstly from the call, and also from then, that actually it became a real thing. Actually, okay, Rupesh is taking this quite seriously. So you know, certainly that's one thing. I think another thing as an Asian vegetarian is just explain it to your family, because as I told you before, I get a lot of pressure when I go to people's houses to eat and be served second and third portions, and if I'm not served second and third portions, then people feel bad that I've not taken extra, etc. But if you explain, I'm working with a coach and I'm trying to lose a bit of weight and this and that, actually it becomes a real positive thing, becomes a really good icebreaker and good conversation as well to have with people, because over time, it's very funny. Only now, over the last few weeks, people are like, "Wow, you really lost a lot of weight, and you've done that very quickly. Like you've done it in the last 2 weeks," where they don't see the struggle and they don't see the journey that's come before it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. And what would you say you'd miss the most if you hadn't had this coaching at all?
Sorry, can you ask that again?
So, what would you miss the most? So, say this coaching didn't happen at all, what would you miss about not having like all of this, like the results and everything?
No, but I would just have kept going on with that same journey, really, and I think that would have been quite worrying, right? Like, um, yeah, I would have just probably kept gaining weight, and just kept going through the same cycles of trying to work with a nutritionist or trying to work with a PT, or just trying to do one thing or the other, and not really understanding what the root of the problem was. I think that was a really critical thing. I just didn't understand what the root of the problem was. A big part of that problem was the nutrition was just completely out of whack. Calories were out of whack. The protein was very, very low. The intake of protein was very low. Um, and then actually just monitoring what the meals were. So I don't do it every day now, but I was logging the My Fitness Plan, as you're very aware, until I gained the awareness of exactly what I'm eating anyway. It's
Yeah.
difficult to say what it's difficult, to go back to your question. It's very difficult to say what I would miss without having done it, because I just wouldn't have had any of the benefits, right? Like
Mm,
I've had a complete 180-degree turn. So
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's too difficult a question to answer, really.
Yeah, yeah. No, I understand. And imagine there was somebody watching this, they're on the fence of booking a call or speaking with me. What is it that you would encourage them to think, do, say?
Decide if you want to do this. Decide if you want to lose weight. Basically, decide if you want to change your life a little bit and lose a bit of weight and gain a bit of fitness back. Not even losing weight, but just gain fitness. You don't need to be super overweight like I was. I think you probably won't find loads of people who are super overweight like I was. But just decide if you want to actually gain your fitness back, if you had it before. If you do, then do it. Then it's like just do the call, sign up. There's kind of like no argument there. Just go ahead and do it. I don't think it's personally. I don't think it's a big financial commitment for people to make, especially a lot of the people that you're targeting and a lot of the people that you want to work with. So I don't think that's the issue. I think it's just difficult. Like somebody cold calls you or somebody messages you on LinkedIn, it's very difficult to kind of trust that person or to go along with it until you start to see the results, and then until you start to actually go through the program and you start seeing the results for yourself. But yeah, for somebody who's sat on the fence, if you want to make a change, then do it. Then just do it. There's no like kind of middle ground. If you don't want to make a change, don't take the call. Don't do anything then. It's a waste of your time then, Nicole, as well, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like I just wouldn't advise anybody who doesn't actually want to make a change to do this.
Yeah.
And look, I'll be completely honest with you. I was quite skeptical at the start as well, because I was skeptical about a couple of things. One, because it's all virtual, and I wasn't going to see you face to face. And then the second thing I was a bit skeptical about was the fact that the workouts don't change. That it's always the same. It's the same workouts, right? So you give a rotation, a workout, B workout, upper body, lower body. So I don't know if you do that. Do you do that with everybody, or is that specific?
Yeah. That's the long-term plan, and then we'll make micro tweaks as we go along, but never need to overhaul the whole program.
Okay, fine. So that I found very interesting because it was against everything that I had read or everything that I'd known about changing the stimulus and finding new way to train every week and different exercises and stuff like that. That actually sticking with the same routine and the same program has been one of the best changes to my training program and the way that I train, because it doesn't feel like I'm going to the gym to work out. It feels like I'm going to train. It's a very big difference. It's a very, very big difference. It doesn't feel like I'm going to go and have a workout. It feels like I'm going to train. And I think that difference is very critical. If you actually want to change your life, because if you go on a program, you're going on a journey to actually hit a goal. So yeah, those two things initially I was a bit like, let's see how we go. Once I got into it, and then I realized I could actually, you mentioned it in a message to me. It's about making a very deep neural change, right? Like changing the mind muscle connection with each of these exercises. But it's also made it much easier to track the change in weight, the change in reps, etc. And then the focus on the tempo, the focus on the way of training. It's been quite eye-opening actually. And it's something even after we finish working together that I will apply to my training and to my lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. Very well said, especially about the workout versus training. So we're here to train for a result rather than just break a sweat.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, it's super easy to, like, you can put on loads of weight, go to the gym, go and sweat for a bit, and then be like, oh, I had a great workout today. Like, okay, this one time of doing it. Like, you have to have a bit of consistency to have these results. And that really resonated with me actually as a person. I've been somebody who's been very disciplined my whole life, and I've done well for myself as a result of one upbringing and my family and what they've given me in terms of the sacrifices they've made, but secondly also the discipline and the hard work that I've put in. But that discipline is consistency, whether it's exams or whether it's work or whatever it is. And I think the kind of people that you're targeting, people who've done well for themselves in life generally, they will have that kind of approach and that kind of mindset that, no, in order to get something out of it, I need to put something in as well.
Yeah. Cool. Very well said. Well, this is not the end of the journey, Rupesh. So thank you for letting everybody know, pit stop, just under 4 months of your tips and tricks, your lessons learned. And then I'm sure we're going to have a follow-up and get a full debrief on the end checkpoint then. So thank you, Rupesh, and until next time then.
Thank you, Nicole. Take care, and speak to you quite soon.
Thank you.